grab your seats and welcome to the show. Third time's the charm. I think we finally got it and we're live. Says we're live. All right, my name is Biggles Metz. I will be your host. We are doing an interview with DM Skizzles. We'll call this Biggles Interviews as the show. We may change the name later. Name pending. Skizzles, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. What do you do? How do we know each other? Let's start with that.
No, that's like too good of a story to give out right away.
No, we gotta go big first.
Well, no. We're gonna just start off that we know each other from WoW.
Yeah, okay.
And then the story will come later because it's a good story. So, hello, I'm Skizzles. Actually, here's a fun fact of how I got Skizzles. I used to play EverQuest back in the day. Love the game. I played it for, I can't even tell you how many hours I invested in that game. Played a half-elf ranger, and my name was, I'm not even gonna tell you my character's name, but I made an Ixar monk. They're these lizard people, and it had to be something lizardy. So I'm like, what could? And I'm looking around my desk at the time, and I was craving Skittles, and he's a lizard, and lizards have Z's in their name, obviously. So it became Skizzles, and that was one of my alts. And then I'm like, oh, that's a kind of cool name. So I transferred it over to WoW. So hello, I am Skizzles, and it just stuck.
That's interesting.
And does that answer your question? I forget the question. I just had to tell a story.
Yeah, that works. All right, so we play D&D together, and
we do.
We do. And Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern. 7:30 Eastern. All right, so let's talk about D&D for a little bit. When did you start playing D&D?
Like tabletop, or what are we talking?
Any, whether it's like on the computer or.
Well, that could date back to old school computer games.
Yeah, like any of the Neverwinter games or anything, or Baldur's Gate, or.
I played the old school Baldur's Gate growing up with Winters, and those were really fun. I think my favorite ones were the Neverwinters.
Yeah, they're Forgotten Realm.
They were what, 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, playing a cleric in those games so much fun.
I always played a ranger.
I've never finished the game, but I've always played like the first two acts on repeat because I'm like, I would play with someone else, I'm like, oh, let's do it, and then they would like we'd wean off of it by like the end of the second act. I'm like, oh, and I play again, and then so I played those first couple acts a million times.
Okay.
But as far as tabletop, about 3 to 4 years ago, I had my buddy say, hey, I got a DM for us. You want to play? Sure, let's do it.
All right, so that leads into the next question. What? And you already answered the question. So you started as a player. Tell me about your first time as a player in D&D.
Well, I didn't have a voice for a character because I thought that was weird. And then it wasn't weird like a few sessions later because that's how you do it. I forget. Yeah, my first character was a cleric because they were awesome in 3.5, so I made one. And couple sessions into it, it was all homebrew. So the guy had this whole elaborate thing and about us getting into taking over a mine and using it to make money and stuff. And I loved the combat. And we went 2 sessions in a row without combat, which wasn't a fan of. Sat down at this other session where we've had no combat for 2. And I said, listen, if we don't have combat this session, I'm going to make combat happen, whatever happens. So the session's winding down. There's a half an hour left. I got alone with the NPC, gave him the quest, and I attacked him and killed him. Apparently, I derailed the whole thing that people didn't want me there anymore. And like, why would you? I'm like, I set expectations that if there was no combat, I was making combat. And I killed this guy for giving us too many fetch quests. And apparently I rolled the best I ever rolled and just killed this guy. And yeah, people weren't really happy. And I think I went like one session uninvited, but yeah. But hey, at least I told him, right?
So your first campaign was a homebrew. Have you ran any of the modules?
As far as
Like Curse of
me,
Strahd or
we did Tomb of Annihilation, and that was pure AIDS, for lack of better words. Like, I hated it.
yeah, it's one of those starting modules, and then you can go do other stuff off of it.
I'm trying to figure out which eye does which, so I'm looking at myself like, which one does like what eye? So the left one
Everything is mirrored. Your left is your right, and your right is your left.
Yeah. I was trying to figure that one out. Sorry, go ahead. So yeah, did Tomb of Annihilation, and that was pure terrible.
Why was it terrible?
Well, it just wasn't fun. I mean, okay, it had its moments, but then you got to the tomb, and all it was like everything was terrible, and you never caught a break, and like I went through like 3 characters. No, like there's only one other person that died. I died like 3 times,
All right, so
and
dying is not fun. So, what characters were you that you were just getting wrecked? Were you like
before
squishies
that,
and trying
I,
to main
I'm
face tank?
I'm very curious if there's more than one person in chat.
It says there's currently 4 people in chat.
Well, I'm there. You there?
I don't count.
Do I count?
Yes, you would count. So 0 counts, and then so there's two other people.
Mystery players, love it. What was it? Oh yeah. So my cleric won. Whoa, I was. Wait, what was I playing at that time? I played a bard and I got him killed kind of on purpose because I kept trolling the NPCs until I died.
Uh-huh.
And then when I was in the tome, I got to get back my cleric, but they said I couldn't have my cleric powers anymore because I killed an NPC. So he was a fighter rogue, and he was freaking like doing the damage, and some. Oh yeah, like a beholder like one shot me or something, which is awesome. Um, what else? Oh, I had a pure rogue, and I spent 2 hours on his backstory, built everything up, I had it for like 2 sessions, and our buddy Ian that Mosh's bushes, he was there, and I just got like 7 texts from the same crazy person. Whatever. Anyway, so
Ignore
my
the
friend's like,
text. Focus on the interview.
okay, focus. Skizzles looking fresh. What's up, bro? Short-term memory loss. Yeah, so I made this huge backstory. I spent so much time on it. I had him for like 2 sessions, and buddy Ian, like, I got hit by some crazy fireball thing, and it knocked me over, and he got some water out of this fountain, and we all drank the water. All of us except one player, and everyone got 5 temporary health. So we're like, this water is awesome. So he bottled some of it. Apparently, you roll a d4 to see what it does, and everything's terrible except the 4 gives you 5 health. And we all got 4s, but we didn't see the rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Comes over, pours this water in my mouth. It disintegrates my body, and I died. Like, oh, that's yeah.
So, I don't know if you've ever watched Once Upon a Time. It's like the ABC version of like all their like Disney characters reimagined.
Oh, real quick, if you see me doing weird things with my eyes, I'm still trying to figure out which side's which.
That's
so
fine.
you know.
I'm not even paying attention to what you're doing with your eyes. All right. So, have you seen it at all?
No.
Okay. Well, there's this episode called Good Form, and it's Captain Hook and his brother, right? And they go to Neverland, and they're trying to get this this plant that's it's something that will, it's this magical cure all of everything. That's what they're told, but it's called Dream Shade, and it's like an insta kill, right? So it would like instantly kill you, and well, it like depending on how much you get hit by. So like to prove to Captain Hook, his brother like scratches himself on the arm with it. He's like, I'm fine. Well, there's this water in there. It's like the fountain where all the magic of Neverland runs, right? So he takes the water and he's healed. But as soon as he leaves Netherland, he instantly dies. So it kind of like reminded me of the water there.
That's pretty elaborate.
I know, right? So it's like, oh shit, I rolled a 1. Now I'm dead. when you drink it.
Oh, and then my character that replaced him, his name was Pick, and that's all. The only words he could say was, "I am Pick."
Oh, okay. So it's with. Oh, I know who you were playing with. I know all them. I've heard the story. Did I? Was that the campaign I jumped in and guessed on as Flint Eastwood?
Yes, but so there were two picks. So I played the not so smart pick for about 7, 8 months, and then the real pick came to take over because I was an abomination, and the real pick could actually talk.
Yeah.
And I think he dealt with the real one.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
But yeah, for almost 8 months, all I could say was, "I am Pick," and "ouch." And he handed out acorns to people. That was his thing. Like, that's how he would barter with people, but people didn't know what to do. So all the other players had to like trade the money and everything, and he would just go up and give people acorns that he liked. But even after like that character went away, then he was like the guy running it DM. He's like, "I don't know how he did that for so long, only saying I am Pick." I'm like, it was not easy. Dude,
What's
I'm like freaked up on my eyes right now.
I heard you base that character off of someone.
I am Biggles.
I am Biggles.
It might have been a little bit.
All right, so let's get back to like talking about DM. So, what was your inspiration when you were like building the world? Like our world right now that we're in the spark. We're hunting for the spark.
Oh, I get these dreams. Okay. No. So I always have crazy ideas, and I start off with an idea because you're like, "Oh, DM first." I'm like, "All right." So I start off with an idea, and I send it to you. You're like, "No, I don't like it." Right off the bat, I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, because
Well,
wasn't it like an Avengers type thing?
there is an evil lich that you guys had to kill that was trying to take over the world, and you're like, "I don't want to do that." Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, "All right, Biggles."
Okay,
So
yeah, maybe.
yeah. So what do you mean maybe?
I think no, I'm pretty sure you like said it was going to be like an Avengers type thing, and I was like, no.
No. You didn't want to play the classic, like, "Hey, we're the good guys and we're trying to kill the bad guy."
Yeah, I would much rather be the bad guys trying to kill the good guys.
So then I came up with this idea. I thought it would be really cool to have two big factions that are kind of competing, but they're not bad guys. They're the good guys. But what are they competing for? Like, well, for something that's good. And then I've like, my mind always goes when I'm laying in bed at night, and I came up with this idea of this spark that comes down once every 100 years, and it's a super powerful item, and it's game changing. So there's people in the race for it, and you guys are from a small town. What if you guys get it? What if one of the factions get it? But also make it super open. I didn't want to script it too hard that you guys had to go a certain way. So you can ally with one, the other, none of them, whatever you want to do. But what if a bad guy gets it? But also, I didn't have any bad guys planned. So that was always in the back of my mind. So it just kind of came to, and I typed up this whole big thing, and I sent it to you. You're like, "Yes, that sounds good." I
Yeah.
showed a couple like friends, people like that, like this. I read the story or showed it to them. Like, that sounds really cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. So when we're playing that, I wanted to ally with the McCrids because my guy was like, they're like fighters. Yeah, dude, you fucking run, you gotta die, right? I was like, yeah, that's my character to a T. But my character's also dumb. So like when Riley
I mean,
was
so
like,
are you, but go ahead.
whoa,
Sorry.
whoa, inappropriate. So when Riley was like, yeah, just sleep on it. And I was like, well, what am I sleeping on? Because I was like, I don't understand what you're saying. Because my character does not have the intelligence to understand what he's saying.
Oh,
So-
I thought
so-
it was just you didn't understand.
So I was like, I need it. I need it to sleep on it. Otherwise, I have no idea. Like, I don't know if I like it, right? Well, is it a bed? What am I sleeping on, right?
Let me sleep on it.
So Riley basically rolled a 0 in persuasion because he wasn't making sense to my character, right?
Yeah.
And I really didn't want to go with the Salises, which we're signed with now, because they were all hippity dippity, you know, and I'm not very hippie like, right? You gotta kill them with death metal, right? That's what we learned from South Park. That's how you defeat hippies. But yeah, so I was like, no. And now we're with the Salises. I wanted to be like either with the McCrids or do it on our own and be like, put Aster on the map and be like, mess with Aster, you're going to get messed up. And
If
that's
you mess with
basically,
Aster, it's going to be a disaster. What up?
yeah, basically. Like, no, like, if someone talks bad about my hometown, like, Leo's like, oh, I'll kill you. All right. So, let's get back on topic. What really drew you to, like, D&D, like, being a DM?
Well, the Neverwinter games like really got me into it. I would read through like the book that came with it, like as leisure, just read it through and through in all the abilities. I'm like, this is so cool. And then after playing for a little while, we had our own little thing of previous years. It was really fun, and I like to see all this stupid crap that you guys do and be on the other end of it instead of being the guy to do the stupid crap. But yeah,
So, do you have, like, a DM that you like to watch? Like, I know a lot of people say Matt Mercer, but, like,
oh yeah,
I like, Brennan Lee Mulligan from Dimension 20. Like, the guys that do, like, College Humor, so it's a whole bunch of people that were on College Humor that play, and I really like him. So it's like, I think he's better than Matt Mercer, but a lot of people are like, Matt Mercer's the best DM ever, and
yeah.
I don't know. But I only watch, or I watch. Have you ever watched any of the Dragon Ball Z Abridged, like with Team Four Star? Well, Team Four Star has like a D&D channel, and I really like that. And Zito, I think is his name. He's the DM, and I really like how he DMs as well. I like how you DM. You know, you're. Sometimes I want to strangle you while you're DMing because you'll get too drunk and I'll be like, whoa.
No, I mean I don't really drink at all, so I don't know what you're
As you're
talking
taking
about.
your third shot of the session.
I
Uh,
already poured my finger. Oh, ooh,
uh,
spit on.
but like I'll say something like 3 times and you'll be like, so Biggles, what are you saying? Or what do you want to say? And I'm like, I give up. And then I won't say anything the rest of the session. I'll be like, I am demoralized because he doesn't pay attention to me. And then like Vinny will say this thing I said, which is out of character for Vinny. All right. All right. Do you prefer the term Dungeon Master or Game Master?
Dungeon Master,
Dungeon Master? All right, cool. I do too.
100%.
Let's see. I had other questions. Oh,
Oh, you never let me answer who my inspiration was.
oh
You just
yeah.
kept going.
Yeah,
You're
sorry.
like,
Answer. Yeah, there we go. I was Pac-Man.
yeah, yep, you're eating those little pellets. I forgot what the question was. Oh yeah, okay. So I love Critical Role. I only watched like, I mean, enough that I'm like, was intrigued by it, but after seeing like in person a person doing it, I would see the ways that I would do it differently. Like, oh, that'd be really cool. But a couple other things like where I get my ideas. So there's a show I grew up watching. That's I think I was in my 20s when I started watching it. It's called Unforgotten Realms. I highly recommend it. It was like an animated series. I think they're on YouTube. They used to have a website, U Realms or Unforgotten Realms, and then they had their old content, which was like 10 episodes. Then they redid everything from episode 1 to 10 and changed it a little bit, but it went like 40 some episodes. It was this animation thing where it's the guy that's DMing and his best buddy, and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons together. And the guy DMing, he knows everything, knows how the game works. His best buddy, no idea what's going on. So he just kind of is like, oh, well, I want to do this. Well, it's a role-playing game, right? So, okay. And then it starts off, he's like, all right. So I searched for traps because we're standing in the middle of a field. He's like, all right, yeah, I rolled a 20. Do I see the traps? He's like, no, you see 0 traps. He goes, all right, I searched for invisible traps. He goes, we're in the middle of it. Like, the guy's freaking out. And it is so funny. And they started introducing new characters. And I highly, highly, highly recommend it. There's so many quotable things from it. So that's a big thing that gets me inspired because they're just so funny. And lastly, you guys inspire me. Oh,
We
no, not
inspire
like
you?
that. Yeah, you guys, you will, because you say out loud some things I never thought of, and I take down notes. And I'm like, ha, this is going to come back and bite them in the ass. Or I'm like, ooh, that's a great idea.
All
So
right.
the more you guys talk, the better I do.
Examples.
I'm not going to give you examples because I haven't planned. Like, I take notes on my phone, like, as you guys are talking. So you're like, oh, he's not paying attention. I'm like, oh, I am definitely paying attention. I'm taking notes right now on what you said. It's going to be freaking awesome. I'm getting all excited and amped up.
So when I said the dragon thing, that was one of them?
What do you mean?
When I was like, yeah, we're going for a dragon. Because I would assume that, like, his high-powered wizard would know stuff, right? Even though I wasn't paying attention, I was just like, yeah, dragon. I wasn't not paying attention.
That wasn't one of the main things, but, like, especially when you guys solve puzzles, and sometimes, even if it's not the answer I wanted, I'll let it count. Because it was so damn clever that I couldn't say no.
So what are some of those besides Zero's X-Lax answer?
Wait, am I supposed to be like, I don't see X-Lax over
What?
there. Oh.
Do you remember when Zero was like the footsteps thing, right? Where we were like, if we the more you take, the more you leave behind, right? Footsteps?
Yeah.
Or tracks or something like that. And Zero was like X-Lax or laxatives, and everybody started dying laughing.
Well, here's one where Ray talked about his friend Terry, and I wrote that down, and then Terry came back.
Yeah, even though Terry's supposed to be dead.
But he wasn't dead. He never died.
That's,
but like doing little things like
saying.
that. Yeah. But like putting back in things that you guys say, I like doing that.
Well, we know it's not the real Terry because he died. Because you don't get to say what happens in worlds before you took over. Boom. Dead. Like in my backstory, like if I said, like, when I was in this as a soldier in my my character, I did this, this, and this. You can't be like, oh, you didn't do any of that. Because, no, that's my backstory. There was no Skizzles back then. There was no DM to rule the world.
True. Well, I decided to do it. But also, I still keep playing with my eyes, and I'm freaking myself out right now. Like,
I don't know why you're doing that.
I don't know. It's OCD, I guess.
All right. So, Skizzles, do you remember my first time playing D&D, and I made a rogue, and it didn't work the way I wanted it to? I was like, no, that's really stupid. I want a different character. So we killed my character, and then I made a brand new one, and I was found in a cart. How do you prepare for new characters? Skizzles.
Am I frozen?
No, you're just being stupid.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. And it started off like you started playing this rogue and you didn't know the mechanics, and then you go all, "Rawr," and then you're like, I don't want to play this guy. Like, so then I had to kill you and then bring you back. And well, that was all impromptu. I'm like, you guys are in the middle of this area. It's like getting dark. Like, how the heck do you come back as a new character? And then I just put you in a wagon all tied up, and then they rescued you. And that's kind of how it went. But one thing, like, you got to be able to be impromptu and, yeah, be able to deal with random craziness. Otherwise, it's difficult. I've had a lot of practice with, improvising. Improvisation is what word? Improvisation. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got to learn improv. Otherwise, it's going to be, I mean, you can still stick to your books and stick to what you wrote down, but you have an easier time with improv.
So, off of improv, besides improv, what tips do you have for DM, a new DM?
Improv.
Yeah, I said besides that. So any other?
Improv. Knowing in the books and reading over, like I've read the book, like the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master, like over and over multiple times. You got to know the rules like a pretty decent amounts. You don't need to know them all. And a lot of people like you don't have to know all their abilities. Like, but sometimes you might want to read over and make sure they're playing it right. Um, yeah, that's a big one. Improv though, like I've done sales in real life for like 10 years, so that really helped me with improv. Not saying that sales is improv, but you got to be able to react like that. So being able to do that really, 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 really helps.
So I remember us talking off stream. We had I was like, "How are you prepared? Are you like planning?" And you're like, "Oh, I do like an outline of what I want to do, and then I like prepare." How long does it take you to prep a normal session?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, what I do is I take a little bit of Fireball and I make myself a drink or 27, and then I start thinking. And no, I was making that up. Based off where we end, but also when I see, and also when I hear you guys like, I wonder if this is gonna happen. I'm like, actually, let's write that down. And then during the week, between, I'll dream about. Well, not really. Well, I'll lay there in bed because I don't sleep well. I'll lay there in bed and think about it, and then I'll get ideas. I'll roll over and I type notes on my phone all the time. Take down some notes of some ideas. So I get like the bare bones structure. And for some people, like to get it down to what each person says, like dialogue wise. I don't go that far. I just kind of have the idea, or if there's something big, then I kind of give it more detail. But I like to have the bare bones of what's going on and then kind of fill in the segments. But also, since you guys can go any which way, I can't all, especially with the way that this one's set up, since it's all homebrew, it can go any which way. So I can't always, oh, this is what's going to happen. And if you guys are like, you know what, don't know how to open this door because we don't know, we checked it for traps and everything, even though it's just a damn door,
And
and you
we
guys
rolled
can't
all
get
zeros,
20
so we
minutes,
couldn't
and
open
then
the
you guys
door.
leave and go somewhere else, then this whole section of content is not there.
All right, on that, I remember there was one night where you were like, "Oh, I had all this planned for you, but you guys all rolled low." So, what were we expected to fight in those bushes? Was it Ian coming out of the bush and alting, or was it
Dude,
what?
I don't even like. I have notes somewhere probably for it, but I don't know. But sometimes, like I've done at least 2 to 3 sessions so far that I did zero planning. It was all improv. But you probably want to guess which ones it was because, like, I excel. I would like to think I excel at improv. So just kind of made it happen. And ideas would come to me, especially watching what you guys would do. It would give me ideas on the fly, and then I just implement them.
Okay. So I have a couple more questions, and then I'm going to let anybody in the chat ask questions. So Zero and whoever else is here, feel free to ask. Do you have an all-time favorite campaign? Like
Like,
out of the ones you've played, which one's been your favorite? Or like it can even be like my favorite campaign was watching these guys play. Like it could even be that.
um, that's even from like a game or something.
Yeah,
Or...
it could even be like Neverwinter's Nights 2 Act 1,
I mean, I loved
right?
all the Neverwinter Nights games, and I got really into those. But like I said, I never finished any of them. I like the one that we're running right now, and I have so like I don't have too much plan in the future, but I already have thought about the ending of it so many times, and it keeps changing in my mind what's gonna happen, like constantly changing. And I'm like, how can I make the ending more epic? And then I change this or I twist that, or you guys have an interaction, and I'm like, well, maybe this should be included or excluded. So that, like, I'm really excited about where this goes for ours.
All right. Favorite race in D&D?
That's racist.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding. In 3.5, when I played Neverwinter, it was always human.
Okay.
Well, I played cleric, so a human cleric for the extra stats. But the thing is, like, too many people play human in these games, and it's supposed to be fantasy, but people don't want to, But I think dwarves are awesome too. But elves have amazing stats and immune to a lot of crowd control abilities. They're pretty, pretty good at everything.
Yeah, I think in the stats for like 5e, the most common race is variant human because it gives you a free feat. And then
I think it's
elves.
just because people don't want to pick away from something that looks like themselves, or
I always go halfling.
yeah. Oh, your guy is a Leonin.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I'm being a lion.
That's pretty cool. But I don't know. I would say if you're building a well, you know what? We'll put that later. If you're building a character, we'll come back to something like that.
So, is your favorite class the cleric?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I've always like the way I game. It used to be I played the original Dota before it was popular. I played with the maker of the game. Like he wasn't
Back on Warcraft 3?
Yep. I always played hard carry, like meaning like a big damage person. And games I would play, I would be like the person that you would rely on to kill everyone, things like that. And then as I grew up, is that what I want to say? Or as I got older,
better?
maybe. As I got well, sometimes I feel like I've gotten worse, but I kind of transitioned into like a support. What?
It's all the drinking.
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't really drink that much. So, what were we saying? Oh yeah, so I kind of transitioned into the support role because I actually don't know. Like something about me, I guess maybe my real life personality. Like I love helping people and being able to, make them happy, do things like that. So I got into this support role. Like Dota 2, I play now. I don't play much anymore, but I would only play support characters. World of Warcraft, play a healer, play a priest, support people, help them do better. So I can't be the one that the light shines on. I'm the one killing everyone, doing the thing, but I'm there I got your back kind of thing. So I think that's why I like the cleric, because able to do that, but also the cleric is very tanky as well. So can take, which is unique for, well, in Dungeons and Dragons, clerics can take those hits. Where a lot of other games, like when you're that kind of character, you're very swishy. You can die really easy. Cleric's very, very strong, very high armored, but also still has some flavor as far as not just all healing spells, but some damage stuff. Very, very good against the dead. Very fun character in my opinion.
All right.
I forget what the question was. Like I just got off.
No, so I went, is cleric your favorite class? Because if I was good to ask, what's your favorite class? And you've been talking about cleric.
So back in 3.5, they had domain. Well, I guess they kind of do. They still have domains. It's a little different. 3.5, it was just certain spells and abilities. But you were able to pick. I forget if there was a trigger to make it give you 2 of them, but I was able to take 2, and I would take the one that gives my heals. I could get them all 1 level prior. So it was extra healy. Then I took the Sun Domain, which gave me these extra Searing Light and something else, and which was extra damage against undead, but also some really cool nukes. And it was a Neverwinter, and it was just fun play style. Like I was supporting my team, taking hits. I got melee. I couldn't hit that hard, but I could take some hits, like a lot of hits, and just do Searing Ray and stuff like that, and just explode. Like there's undead. I'm like, ha! Running in there, pants off, but yeah, balls out, like face first in these guys, and it was such a fun experience.
Nice. So I'm going to ask the chat to start getting some questions ready, but you mentioned something the other day, and so go ahead and chat, start writing some questions, and we'll start answering them. But questions about streaming. Skizzles, you asked me if you start streaming, if I could help you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you some stuff about streaming. What types of games are you going to be streaming on?
You know what? This just hit me 2 nights ago. I think it was Saturday night. I was talking to my buddy Nathan, and I'm like, well, I was telling him like I wanted to stream, and I was watching him play this roguelike game, and it looked really fun. But also, so there's so many games that are roguelike now, and they're difficult.
The new
And
Atlas game. Atlas Rogue is a roguelite.
and I really like to get into these games that are more difficult, that may very entertaining and stimulating to watch, but difficult because I can handle like those games where you like end up having to die more than you win, and I usually have a good attitude going into that stuff. But I think it would be fun to watch, and I think those would be a good one for me to look into. I mean, I could stream probably many games, but I think that would be like a nice little, like,
So the roguelike
like
genres.
yeah. Well, let's just say like or platformers like Cuphead, like very difficult games
Hmm.
that people don't beat, or they only can get so far, or they die a million times, and I can beat it in 5 tries or something like that. Where like, oh, I want to watch, like, look at him dodge all this stuff. That's insane. And I'm just here like, hello, I'm Skizzles, like, but also be really funny. And I'm usually pretty vocal when I play, or at least say stupid crap. So it's all good.
Um, do you think you'll be one of those streamers that are talking to yourselves when you don't have any viewers? Because when you first start off,
Oh,
you won't really have viewers, so you got to like draw them in when they show up, because the viewer count's not going to update a lot. And when you're starting streaming, you don't want the viewer count on at all, because you want to pretend that there's people there. So you're just going to talk, like talk about your day, like, oh yeah, I was doing this today, da da da. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you could do to keep like the chat interested. And it's like me, I I have a very hard time focusing on other things. So like when people would accuse me of like when you would play like Halo and you would have like two screens, I couldn't look at the other person's screen when playing, because then I couldn't focus on my screen. So like for me, it's kind of hard to see the chat when I'm playing and I'm trying to focus. So it's like, it's always like when I play Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't have to focus. So I can be on the chat talking the whole time, right? Because most of my decks I can play in my sleep, right? I just need to like have the card, right? But when I'm playing like Heroes, there'll be like 5 minute like things, periods, where I won't look at the chat, and I'll look at the chat as soon as I'm back to base, and then I'll read the chat as I'm running to lane. And that's why you'll see me randomly die, because I ran too far because I was clicking and reading chat. So I'll be
it's just that you're mad.
I'll be like, shit. But like, yeah, there's certain games. We got Hoboken in the thing. So Hoboken, if you have any questions for DM Skizzles here, go ahead and write them down in the chat, and we will ask them. So it's all about like the games you choose. So like when I was only streaming Smite, that's when I got the most followers, because it was the game I played all the time, and it was the game that I built up, and plus I was really good at the game, so I was able to get people. And
that doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Zero wants to know, do you only drink Fireball?
It's my favorite.
It's his favorite, but he does drink rum.
Actually, no. I stopped that back in December, I think. I had COVID for a little bit, and I was told that it can really mess up your taste. I can't drink rum anymore, and it's the weirdest. Well, because as long as you know me, I drank rum all the time, rum and Coke,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't drink it anymore. It just makes me sick to the stomach.
That's depressing. Rum is the greatest.
But the thing I got turned on to recently by accident, and it was just because I was in the liquor store and I was trying to find something else to try, Bacardi Raspberry, and I walked by it. It was on sale, and it just said, have a refreshing Bacardi and lemonade. And like Bacardi, raspberry, and lemonade.
Bacardi's
Let me
rum.
try it. Huh?
Bacardi's rum.
No, Bacardi Raz though.
Oh, okay.
The raspberry flavor. So I got that. And I got some lemonade, mixed it. Delicious, delicious. If I had to describe it with one more word, delicious and refreshing. And that's been my recent kick, but still Fireball. Like I just sip it. It's not the strongest thing out there, and it goes down to easy. So
Zero wants to know: are you going to add more orc or goblin women?
more orcs or goblin women? What?
Yeah, in our campaign.
So you guys came across a goblin female, which has not reappeared at all, but maybe because I forgot, but could always happen. And you guys have, I don't want to spoil anything, but you will encounter more orcs for sure.
There you go, Zero. Maybe they'll even be women orcs. Yeah, because we have to meet many arrows, right? We're probably going to run into many arrows and all that stuff.
Well, you can assume that will happen.
Yeah, yeah. Zero wants to know, what's your favorite part about being a DM?
Just, it's like one of those things when you tell like, or, well, I'll go to like the riddles. Like I do the riddles. Like I have the answer and they don't, but I have the answer to everything. Well, that I think I do. Like I always know what's gonna happen. Well, not necessarily what's gonna happen, but I have the potential outcomes. But also I could choose their fate, so I have so much control. And it's really fun doing that, and also it's really like the watching like during puzzles, especially puzzles, but overall like they go in a room and they test out the walls, things like that. I'm like, there's nothing. You know what? They're really like obsessed with these walls and they think there's something there and they have this idea that doesn't exist, and now I improv. You know what? They're doing this so hard, maybe I'll give them something if they roll high enough. And then I'm just making up something, but like they're a wall, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, you know what? You find a crack in the wall and then they see some glowing behind it and it ends up being a type of treasure. But they keep but it was
And then
never,
we can never get into the wall.
yeah, but I mean, just like I love improv. Like I think I said that like 27 times. But
So
just like being able to control the outcome, and also being able to. Right now, I'm really getting invested in our story because I have multiple endings of what can happen, and it's gonna and I want to see the reactions of the players of what happens, or if something happens to a certain person or happens to them, how they're gonna react, and just the shock value. So it's almost like I'm writing a book that the pages are blank to, and I think I know where the book's going to end, and they can change the pages at any time. If that makes sense.
yes. So Zero, yes, the dragon did have red eyes. It was a red eyes black dragon. I have the 2 red eyes. I popped them out, and now I have them as a collection. Skizzles, were the riddles improv or were they planned?
The majority of them, I think all of them were planned. I actually did some research, and the thing is, like with riddles, they're hard to balance. I don't want them too hard, but I definitely don't want them easy. And the nice thing is, with the balance of people that we have, is it seems like at least one person can get them or figure them out. And like I want them to be beatable, winnable, but also I don't want you guys to be like, oh, well, it's just this. But it's really fun to see like how you guys progress. But also like I give you guys some of them, like you have a chance to pursue more. Like I think I gave that option once or twice where you guys could keep going and try harder ones. But like I don't want to make them impossible, but it's just really fun. Like sometimes I find a really good one. I'm like, this is perfect. Like you guys could probably get it, but we'll see. So it's that part of the research I do sometimes.
Okay.
And I think some of the like I spent like half an hour just searching and searching to find.
And then we get it in like 3 seconds.
yeah, but
it's like
happens.
the more you fill the room, and I was like, oh, it's light.
Yeah, and out of everyone to get it, I was like, wow, nice.
You know what? I think I heard that riddle before, like in a D&D game that I was watching. And I'm just like, oh, it's light. Or or it was either that or it was one of the questions to win like a $5 gift card at work. Okay, so there's a question here that says, what happened to the lady that got dead person blown in their face by a guy that was disguised in Sal's place?
Did she die?
I don't know. You're the
Oh,
DM. Only you know.
I don't know. You gotta ask the right person. I'm not that person.
Okay. And then what's your what other races besides humans and dwarfs do you like and why? You said elves too, right?
I'm a big elf person. Like, and they have a lot of really good stats. Drow is really cool too. Um, just mainly because I grew up reading the Legend of Drizzt Do'Urden, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, Tris.
Um,
That's R.A.
it's
Salvatore, right?
yeah, Dark Elf trilogy, and then the main one's the Icewind Dale trilogy that most people read, but the Dark Elf trilogy is prior to that. If you like books, 1,000% recommend. I bought that series for gifts for a lot of friends, family, things like that. Amazing. Can't put the damn book down. I read them in school. They're probably like 40 some books now, but I think I got to like 30 ish. And it's just constant action. And this dark elf because dark elves are generally evil, and he's like, I don't feel that way. That's kind of like the gist of it. So he wants to break loose
So
of.
that's who Nax is based off of.
Uh, well, so there's a couple, like in the series, there's a couple dark elves in that way. There's a dark elf you meet, Jaraxel, I believe is his name. I probably pronounced it wrong. Probably a little more based off of him, just slightly. But he's very, very interesting. He's more of a character like I like to control the outcome of things and or set things in motion and watch it happen. He's very I don't want to say manipulative, but he's a very interesting character. He's really cool. There's so many good characters in it. You meet a dwarf named Bruner. He's in the player's handbook. You see him in the player's handbook. That's how big of a character he is. It's highly recommend if anyone watching this goes out and reads the books. Please let me know and let me know what you think because I love those books and I mean, I guess I could reread them. It's been so long, but they're so damn good.
Yeah. So Forgotten Realm or Dragon Realm or Dragonlance?
Forgotten.
Forgotten Realm. Okay.
Yep.
Me too. Um, let's see. Ask that one. Ask that one. Ask that one. Favorite class besides cleric?
Whew. Yeah, that's loaded. It depends on if you mean just like for flavor or if you mean for optimization or if you mean for. Oh, my fly's been down all today.
That's fine. It's not on the stream. Who cares?
Okay, I got it.
So just to play, just for fun. Let's go with that.
I played a monk for a while and they're fun. They're good. Had a lot flavorful archetypes or what do you want to call them? Like the subdivision. I can't think of what to call it right now.
Subclass?
Yeah, the stunning strike is just OP as anything.
Yep.
You stun something and it just can't play the game. Like
Yep.
the ability of crowd control, and Biggles, you understand this from coming from World of Warcraft. Crowd control stuns are key. They are the best things, especially stuns. Stuns and anything are just broken. And having an ability to stun in Dungeons and Dragons, like, can't compete with it.
They need to bring in Cyclone. All right. So there's two more questions here.
Oh, real quick, this is to Zero. Zero, thank you. You've been very active in chat and you joined in the beginning, so I appreciate you.
All right. So let's see. There's 2 more questions. Where is it? Have we done anything that really surprised you during the campaign? Like
All the time.
all the time. What's the most surprising thing we've done?
You know what? I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to think about it for what. Usually, the thing is like, and again, I'm a very modest person. I didn't say that yet. I don't think, but so I don't like to brag about anything. But I think I'm pretty damn good at improv. So anything
You've
surprising,
only said that
you,
500 times in this.
yeah. Well, I try to be anything. Anyway, so I'm usually pretty good at recovering when you guys throw me off track. So, and again, like I know the sky's the limit, especially with you being here, Biggles. So, yeah.
Well,
So,
my
like
character just wants to smash. Okay, Scully, Scully, Scully.
that. What you know? What was that said? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was impressive because that's the not lying at all, not twisting anything. Because once in a while, I'll bend
we have
things to
proof.
make
It's
it.
okay. You said
How do
you
you?
had. You're like, I can't believe you guessed that.
Like sometimes, and again, is sometimes I fudge things just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more epic. And certain moments, not often, but I'll round HP on someone just so you guys finish them off instead of leaving them at 2 HP. I do a little like fudging here and there. That one, 100%, you guessed it, and that's the name. I'm like. This is just insane that you guessed it, and because I was gonna put it somewhere that you guys could figure it out, but you just flat out guessed it. That was pretty damn insane.
All right, so here's another question: your favorite player and why? And why is it Vinny?
I like Vinny's accent, but he's not my favorite player because he always tries to fucking use his damn pet, and I hate it. Um, I don't take favorites as far as
It's
pets.
Roscoe, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't have favorites.
All right,
I mean,
who's the favorite character? Who do you have the most fun like playing off of? Not like us as players, but our character.
I love your animations with your axe.
All right, that doesn't
Like,
count.
like
That's me. That's not like
the Leovani
yeah,
acting out as Biggles.
like Leovani or Vinny or Rake or Roscoe. Not like
You know what? That is a loaded question because it could also depend on the session. Because each session, like sometimes I'm rooting for a different person to do something. I love Roscoe's weapon set right now, and that's got potential. Your weapon has board potential. Rake got that shield that's got potential. Like there's so many moving gears right
and
now.
then Vinny's got a crappy staff.
But hey, he had the evolution where he has the frost and fire now. So, but he hasn't used it at all, really. So there's a lot of really cool things, and again, the game is made that you don't need any magic items, and I've been pretty much almost everything you guys have gotten. The majority has been homebrewed, and it's pretty overpowered, but also not throwing easy encounters all the time.
All right, and the last question is going to be: do you have a favorite moment in the campaign so far?
McCribble. You guys
McCribble?
like well the thing is like I
Yeah.
made yeah, like so I yeah, combat's fun, and I think there was only 2 sessions so far where you guys had 0 combat. But and that one of them was like a McCribble type situation, but just something different that wasn't combat, but also involved a lot of rolling and was similar to combat, but something to like especially get you guys wound up, and the way you guys reacted really was awesome, and that's why I came back to a tournament later because I saw you guys get so amped and excited. If you guys seemed to hate it, I wouldn't have done it again, but I just love the reaction.
All right. It looks like there's one more question. When are we going to hit level 11? How many months?
Was that? Let me guess. Vinny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We're not going to answer that question. You guys just hit 10. Shut the front door.
I know, but it took us like 4 months.
No.
It was like 8 sessions. So 2 months. So we've been live for 55 minutes. We would have been live for an hour, but it apparently I don't know how to work YouTube, and I failed not once, 2 times I failed before we got it on the 3rd time. So Skizzles, you are going to be a Twitch streamer now, right? So go ahead and tell them what your Twitch channel is.
Well, no, not yet, because
yeah, they can go follow it right now. You don't have to have any content out yet.
Well, I might change my name.
You're changing your name. You're no longer going to be Skizzles.
No, it's Skizzles 65 on it.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? So you can tell them to subscribe to Skizzles 65, and then you can change it in your thing.
Wait, I can do that?
Yeah, you can change it. My thing used to be Big Pimpin' or Kill Jaden, because I was on Kill Jaden. And then it was
Skizzles _65 right now.
Yeah.
Is that fine, or should I probably change it?
You can do whatever you want, man. Just tell them to. So go to twitch.tv/Skizzles _65. Follow Skizzles. And then when he starts dropping content, you can start dropping content.
I have a message from you in here, and it's fucking hilarious.
All right, well, don't share it on stream.
Yeah, I'm not gonna share it.
Yeah, it's probably really bad.
No, it's hi something of friends Skizzles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
AGF.
AGF friend or AGF friend.
All right, so. What level is the campaign going to get to? Who knows? 12 maybe? 50?
So a lot of them do end up around that level. We might go a little beyond. We're not going to 20. We're probably not. Well, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to set like a timeline, but not 20, not close to 20, but more than 10. Put it that way.
All right. So, Wednesday night, follow us at twitch.tv.
Wait, are you trying to end it right now?
Yeah, we've been for an hour. We're good. That's all we need.
Well, we got to hit the hour marker, and I have like 2 more questions.
All right, what are the 2 more questions?
So, you're supposed to... Never mind. I was going to be like, so you guys want to know about when I met Biggles? Lol.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, so tell them how you met Biggles.
So, World of Warcraft, and this is before like we talked. So, Skizzles, one of the best PvPers out there. Gladiator.
At the time. Now he's trash.
Yeah, not as good. We'll put it that way. I come flying in on my. I see this druid getting butt blasted by some alliance, and I'm on my mount. I'm running shadow. I don't run shadow anymore. So that means I do damage as a healing person. And I go in, I see this, I swoop down, dismount, kill 1, kill 2, and my health's getting low, and this druid's healing me. Kill the 3rd guy there. And he's like, you saved me. I'm like, I got you, bro. Thanks for the heals. And I mount up and fly off. It was him. Like, I still remember it because I remember the name Big Pimpin'. Because I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's an interesting name. And years later,
Warlords of Draenor in the Twilight Highlands, fighting ogres. Go ahead, finish the story.
Oh, you finish the story.
There is a character known as Skizzles who used to play with Hailstorm, who is a real life friend of mine. And I was like, wait, are you the Skizzles? Like Gladiator Skizzles with Hailstorm? He's like, yeah, that's me. And I was like, oh my god, I'm Biggles. Or I was like, I'm Big Pimpin'. I'm friends with Hale. He saved my life like mid-5s match, and you guys won it. And so yeah, we started being friends there. And then I see 2 people that are like his friends, and their names are Idiot and Dissel. Or yeah. And
Yeah.
Idiot and Dissel were my rated battleground partners in Mist of Pandaria. And I was like, holy shit, they all know each other. And then I met Skizzles like, what, 6 years ago in real life?
Maybe a little bit. Oh, yeah,
7 years
realize-
ago? Six or 7 years ago? Yeah.
We hung out. He slept at the bottom of my stairs. Like,
Yeah.
I made him breakfast. He was dancing in the rain, and we had a plate of wieners.
Tossed a hot dog in the neighbor's yard.
Oh, we had so much. We always have fun. But yeah.
All right. So our next interview will be Saturday with Vinny. He's going to be here in this room, and we'll probably have the green screen up by then. So we'll probably make it look like we're in an office or something. Who knows? So make sure to come hang out on Saturday. Wednesday night we'll be on the Twitch channel playing D&D. Thank you everybody for coming out. I'll be editing this interview and putting it so it's shorter on YouTube.
Shorter? I'm already pretty short, bro.
Yeah, he's like 4'2" or something like that in real life.
Two things.
He's this tall.
That tall or laying that? Never. So, Unforgotten Realms. If you ever get bored and just want to watch, like I lay in bed and watch YouTube all the time. Love it. It's an older show. Watch it. Laugh your ass off. Message me and tell me what you liked. These guys are so freaking funny. Now they do it's called 2-player now, and they do these videos of them playing old school game. They did like old school Nintendo games, and some weren't even English. They were really funny. The other thing is Dark Elf Trilogy for books. Start there, then Icewind Dale Trilogy. Amazing if you like to read, and if you read it. Let me know what you. I'm not sponsoring them. I just love that stuff, and yeah, they're definitely good reads.
Also not sponsored. They're on Audible. Audible is fucking awesome. I love it. I use it.
Because you can't read.
I'm not a very strong reader because my dyslexia, and I'll read the same sentence over and over again. So I use Audible because I am an audible person. Like I can remember almost everything I've ever heard. That's not as good anymore since concussion number 11. But before concussion number 11, I could remember like everything from like 7 years ago in a complete sentence of conversations. But yeah, Audible, they have all of them. That's where I got all the Dragonlance books. That's where I got the ones he's talking about. I kind of started to read those, but I haven't finished. So check out that if you want to hear those books. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for having me, Biggles.
This has concluded the end of Biggles Interviews, episode 1. New name pending. And let's.
No!
Yeah, we're good. We want you guys to see what we missed get yeeted. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a good one.
Deuces.